What about the women that say, if so, if you put in, the women we want to put in their contract before they marry a brother that they can't take another wife, and if they marry another woman, then that they want to be automatically given a divorce.
In our school, that's not.
It's not even legal.
Not a binding condition. I don't know about other than the
It's not.
School.
It's not.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's like condition that has no merit to it. No even need to be there.
But so if a dude puts that in his contract, then.
Well, in the Shafi'i school, it's not an issue. So I can't speak about the other schools.
No, I'm saying, but people put it. Say somebody does it, right?
But I'm saying, people who don't know rules of the religion.
That's my point.
Stuff. So I mean, our teachers used to say this to us. For the non-scholar, like Mujtahid, his judgment is the judgment of the mufti who gives it to him, no matter what school he finds. Because he doesn't have the ability to deduce legal rulings. So he needs someone who does that. And for him, all qualified jurists are equal to him. So it depends whom he's talking to. And then that jurist giving those legal verdicts based on his understanding of the Islamic text. But these are not flat out answers.
No, I know that.
You just can't. I know it's a big problem we have. We think Islamic rulings are that simple, just cut and dry. And it ain't like that. It's a lot of some stuff is cut and dry. These things that are necessarily known to be a religion, they cut and dry. But the details of that stuff, it requires a legal expert.
And you need a qadi.
Or a qadi, a mufti.
So why we can't get there here?
Because don't have an Islamic government. And we're not in an Islamic country where we have any authority. To make a qadi, you gotta have authority.
No, I'm saying, because you said that a long time ago, you might not remember. You said that it would be nice if amongst us, like in our own communities, that we had respected,
Yeah, but that ain't legally binding. That's just us trying to make our situation not as bad as it is.
Yeah.
That's not legal. So for instance, if we agree in Land City, say all the masajid come together, right? And we say, we're going to have so-and-so, imam, sheikh, whatever, some person that we trust his legal knowledge of Islamic law, and we're going to refer all our decisions to that person. And we're going to hold it upon ourselves to adhere to his judgments. Then that's fine, it works for us. Right? But even with that, his judgments don't become legally binding on nobody.
No, I know.
Because he's not really an authority. It's just something we agreed to.
Yeah, but all right, so if we never have any type of structure, right, then how do we ever have any progress then in the community?
I agree. That's why we need to do that part. I believe we need to agree and just set up the things. And that's why I say, like, for me, when somebody tells me I don't follow a madhab, to me, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
When you just set up a major problem. As Imam Luqman called it, the Wild Wild West.
It is, yeah.
The Wild Wild West. And that's what we have in our masajid. In every masjid, you have this issue, right? That where there's no authority. The imam is only authority to those who like him. As soon as they don't like him, he's not an authority to them.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. That's why we're not able to develop as communities and grow. Islam is going to grow with or without us. That's a whole nother story. When I'm talking about building communities, building families, you know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother issue. And to me, that's the most important thing for us as Muslims, more than all this other stuff we talk about, is how do we sustain Islam functionally for future generations? That's a serious discussion. And I haven't seen anyone with a real answer, not just a complaint. We all know the problem.
So do you think...
How do we fix it?
But so Do you think you'd have to work with other communities then?
I believe that's necessary, but what are the terms of that working together and cooperation?
Yeah, you don't compromise fundamentals.
I mean, it's not just the fundamentals. It ain't just Aqidah. Like, it ain't just Aqidah, as you know. We got people, let's just take our own masjid. We got people who got the same Aqidah, same madhab, and still all over the place. Because we...
What you mean?
Doing what we want. We all got the same Aqidah, same Fiqh, same Shuyukh, same everything, and we still be beefing. It happens. Because that ain't got nothing to do with the religion. That got something to do with us culturally as African Americans. And everybody else got their something with us. I don't know nobody else. But us, some stuff we got to work with culturally. And that ain't just Aqidah. Aqidah is an issue, but that ain't the only issue. Even if we all had the same Aqidah, it ain't going to change these issues we're talking about. It should, but it's not, right? Because right now, we got people who sell drugs, right? Who they may be, we may not know. We got people who fornicate. We got people who do other stuff. I mean, we got people who do stuff. It's just real, right? Now, is that based on any of their Aqidah? No. It had nothing to do with that. Is that based on their fiqh? Is that based on their sheikhs? No. It had nothing to do with all that.
It's based on your nafs. Yeah.
So you still want to deal with it. So your nafs is telling y'all not to listen to nobody. Don't nobody tell me what to do.
No, some people struggling with stuff.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But the nafs is still telling the person, I don't have to follow authority. Right? I mean, you see it all the time. So what I'm saying, so the struggle when you say working with others, it ain't just Aqidah. We still got to, after we work out the issue, we're not going to argue over Aqidah. We're going to sit down, we're going to discuss it. We're going to know who's right, who's wrong in these issues. We're going to try to figure it out. We're going to agree that some things we can't come. And now we're going to move to the next stage, right? When we get to the next stage, we still going to have other issues that we disagree about. And we don't learn how to do conflict resolution. That's just real. So when I'm saying we have to figure that out, right? And slogans ain't going to do it. You know, I follow Quran and Sunnah. No, you don't. That's what you said when you don't follow Quran or Sunnah. You follow Quran and Sunnah when it meets your desires. And when it doesn't comply with your desires, out the window. What kicks in is that nonsense. And everyone knows when they're doing that. I know when I'm doing it, you know when you're doing it, so do the others. We can distinguish because we really Muslims. We believe in Allah and His Messenger. In our heart, we really on it. But we know when that other stuff is kicking in. We know what we do. So that's what I'm saying is like the issue of community building is something that we got to actually develop control of ourselves, control of our desires, and then sincerely want to make a change. And until we do that, it's all going to be just rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? Until we honestly say, right, listen, I'm going to conform to the rules of the religion, even if they're against myself. Right? So that I remember, I'll tell you a story, right? When I first came to Masjid Muhammad, I never forget this. I was telling this to the brothers last night, right? We used to do they had a majlis, and you would go to like Longside or Willingboro or Camden and have the Eid. And
it was us, Delaware, and Longside.
Right, and Masjid Noor. Right. And I remember when I first started coming to Masjid Muhammad, and I was giving Jumu'ah and things like that. And it was a group of people that wanted to do Eid in Atlantic City. They didn't want to travel. But the Imam, he said, no, we traveling.
Imam Amin.
Right. So they said to him, well, we got Imam Amin, and he can do the Eid here, and those who want to travel, go.
I remember that.
And they brought that to me first. I said, absolutely not. I would never do that. And they was like, why? I agree with them. I agree we should do it in Atlantic City. And I wasn't on their thing because I want to travel. I was like, we raising money at the Eid. This masjid needs money. So why don't we take that money and build our own community instead of going, and that was just my opinion. I didn't say it was wrong, but I wasn't going to oppose our leadership for that.
Yeah.
The structure of maintaining the imam and complying to the imam and not dividing ourselves was more important to me than the convenience of having Eid prayer in Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the same concept. So if you look at things that happen, and I don't want to make it personal, right? You look at things that happen in our community sometimes, it's too easy for people to go against the leadership and it's accepted. This is a problem. Not for an individual, for the whole structure. Right? So forget who's the imam. It don't matter. If you're comfortable rebelling against the imam, then you setting our community up itself for rebellion. Because just like when you don't like the imam and you go do what you want to do, we can get another imam and this one don't like the imam and he gonna do what he want to do. And then he gonna do the same anarchy. Right? And I remember, these are nice stories. When they were rebelling against Imam Kyrie, rahimahullah, because they felt he wasn't a resident imam. And they wanted to move to the city, and they may have been right. I'm a resident imam from Atlantic City. I live here, right? So I agree. But what they wanted to do, and this is just some side of the story, I can't speak for everybody's heart. But what actually happened was they actually took a trip to Philadelphia with Imam Shamsuddin. That's when Philadelphia was running like basically all the masjids coming out of the nation still. They was the big dogs, in other words. And when the people from Atlantic City came to him and they was talking about we want our own imam and from Atlantic City, and he looked at them and he said, this sounds like a mutiny, right? It ain't gonna be no mutiny.
Yeah.
but you, right? This sound like y'all getting ready to try to overthrow some stuff.
Yeah.
Nah, that's not gonna happen. And he actually sent a crew down to make sure it don't happen.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the details. I'm saying the concept is needed. Right?
Yeah.
Right, the concept.
We need a Khalifa. I'm not
relative.
Yeah.
That's not real because you need a government. We don't got all that.
You know what I mean, though?
We are subjects to somebody else's state.
Look,
but I'm saying to survive, we need, within this society,
we need to pick somebody. Yeah.
You know what Imam Luqman calls it? We need a code.
That's what I mean, yeah.
We need a code of how we do things. And it needs to be agreed upon, and we need to stick by it and hold each other accountable.
But that's the thing. So when we was talking, remember last year when we did the one with the older brothers from the Muslims of America, right? And so when we talk to them, or when I hear you tell stories of the Ansar community and stuff, all those situations, or the War of Deen community, everybody, they had a code and all those things, and leadership, and a hierarchy, and that's why things work, because everybody agreed to it.
Right.
You know? So whether or not the Aqidah was right or they was getting taught correctly, they got more things done because they had some structure.
And my mother-in-law, she always say to me, my wife, Hakika's mom, I remember she said this to me. She said, and she goes back to like Izzadeen village days, like way, in the 70s, early 70s, late 60s, right? And they had in Newark, they had apartments, they had housing, they had a halal store, they had a masjid, they had trucks, they used to go out and sell clothes. They had a little community right in Newark, New Jersey. And I always used to ask her, what was your doctrine, what did y'all learn? And they just don't have all that. They don't even remember what they was learning, right? Where we can talk about Shafi Madhab, Ash'ari Aqidah, Tasawwuf, Fiqh, Aqidah, Hadith. We put all these fancy, like we super scholars or something, right? And she would say to me, she's older, right? She's over 70. And she was saying to me, yeah, y'all got all that knowledge, y'all ain't building nothing.
Yeah.
We have far less than y'all, we done way more than y'all done. And I can't argue with that.
She's right.
So what was the difference? So their imam, which was my wife's father, he was called Sheikh, but in our terms, he ain't know nothing. Like what we would say today.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't fluent in Arabic, he ain't know a bunch of Quran, he ain't know Usul Hadith, Usul Tafsir, Usul Fiqh, Lugha, Sarf, he ain't know all that stuff. But what he did know is how to get Negroes moving.
Yeah.
He did know that.
Yeah. And
that's what they did. Now, granted, also, like I tell her, this other thing you got to figure, we're not in the same cultural experience as they were. Black people knew it was essential for them to work together.
Yes, they had the white man on their neck, like
today,
blatantly.
Everybody's an individual.
Yeah.
That phone right there is our worst enemy.
Yeah.
In terms of everybody's a sheikh, everybody's a community themselves. They got their own virtual community. My online flights. If I got 10 likes, that's sufficient for me. That's my community, the 10 likes. I watch some people give a video and they got like 4 followers and they a sheikh. And I'm not saying they're not, but I'm just, you don't go to Masjid because you got 4 followers on Facebook, huh? Really? You can talk to 4 people on Facebook, or 20 people for that matter, right? And you sacrifice building a whole community so you can build you and have 20 people press like and make a comment and you do your stuff. Really? That's not bad. And it happens, and you know what I mean? I gotta say who, it happens, it's real, and it's all over the world like that. Right? But it don't affect the rest of the world as bad as it affects our communities because we need those people.
All right, so to be fair then, right? So I agree with you, right? But then let's say, so you think that when people stop being part of the community, that they're doing that because they want to be in charge somewhere else?
No, I think it's just messy stuff, and they ain't know how to work it out. Right. So
all right. So then naturally, some people gonna bump heads. I don't just mean with you.
Messy
all right. So that don't just mean you, but any master, right?
Listen, so I didn't have Imam Kari was Imam for 30 years. He had more coups than I've had in my time.
Yeah.
More people try to take him out than I ain't had no problems. Like that's why I get so much done because I don't have a lot of problems. I mean, the stuff I got is nonsense. You know what I'm saying? You know what I know. It's like. These people ain't even interested in really doing religious stuff anyway. You had people coming at Imam Kari who wanted to be in charge, wanted to lead, wanted to build their own stuff. I don't got that kind of problem.
So this is my question.
It's a big difference. Do you understand?
No, I get it, but I want to ask you, since you are the imam, right? When somebody has a beef with the imam, what do you suggest they do about their beef?
Come talk to the imam.
Okay, but
they
then
don't do it.
No, I'm saying, but let's say they did do it, and then y'all have an argument. Right?
It's never an argument.
No, I didn't say it is. I said
it won't even be an argument.
No. All right. Even if it's not an argument. If let's say somebody walks away from the conversation not pleased with what you said, then what should they do?
Why are you not pleased? Right? Why are you not pleased? Then evaluate the whole conversation and come back again after evaluating the conversation. Evaluate why I said what I said, why you said what you said, why we disagree, what is the points of our disagreement. Learn conflict resolution, not leave. Right?
I agree with that.
I mean, but we just roll. Like I ain't even try to work it out. I ain't even got to the stage with the first one to have a real conversation with the imam.
I know people don't like me, right? Because some people say that when they talk to me, that I act like I know everything, or I'm being arrogant, and I don't think I'm any of those things, right? But I'm gonna give it back to you the same way that you gave it. So it's not saying like if somebody's ignorant towards me, I'm not gonna be ignorant, but I don't back down from conversations, and I don't back away from conflict, and I'm not gonna bite my tongue with anything or anybody, right? But that don't mean I'm gonna leave either. So I agree with you on that point, but I just don't get why. So I understand where other people, and I'm not just talking about with our masjid, any masjid. Sometimes if people feel like they can't, if somebody really wants to have input with a situation, say with the masjid, because people believe that the masjid is for everyone, right? And it's for everyone, and everybody in the community should be able to help and have a part of what's going on. Sometimes I think people get that confused, like the lines get blurred, and then they start thinking because, you know, they cooking chicken every Friday or something, or because they cleaned up, that they should have a say in what happens with something else. You know what I mean? Now, I know that ain't the case, but let's say if I was the imam, right? And then I said to the person, listen, nigga, all you do is cook the chicken every Friday. Then they're going to get upset, and that's probably what's going to make them want to leave. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
As imam, and I was thinking about this today, you're going to be shocked.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow, I was thinking about starting Jumu'ah by apologizing to everybody I offended.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly thought that.
Why don't you do it?
Because I don't want it to be like not genuine in words that I think that need to be done personally before publicly.
I disagree.
Not that I was wrong, but even I may have been right and still wrong and offended you. I may have been right in what I'm talking about, but the way I went about it may not been the best way as that I could have done. So I'm apologizing not for the issue of what we were talking about,
but how you want to
hurting you.
Yeah.
Because I didn't intend to hurt you.
Listen, I learned that. And it works. I learned that in therapy.
Right. So, but like, I get stuck with this sometimes. And this is with us. And I'm telling you, I do. Certain things I really don't have a problem with. But I do stuff because I know what I observe what the other is trying to do. And I'm trying to stop that. But the issue...
Yeah, and the person to personalize it.
Right. The issue that you think I'm dealing with, I'm not. I'm stopping this to stop what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
That's quite obvious. But this is your introduction to what you're really trying to do.
Yeah.
So I stop you at your introduction, and you get caught at the introduction. That's not what I'm dealing with. That's the issue that it looks like I'm dealing with now, but I'm dealing with where you're trying to go.
Yeah.
Right? You're trying to do a mutiny, and this is just the introduction to your mutiny. I'm stopping the mutiny before you even get to it.
Yeah.
And the way I stop it is by stopping your introduction.
But so there's nothing wrong.
But the way I do it may not be the best way.
But there's
all
nothing,
the time. It may be.
But there's nothing wrong with having the public apology. Listen, what I did, I broke your trust. I hurt your feelings. I didn't do something wrong, though. I mean, what I did wasn't wrong. And that's the same thing. You might not have did anything wrong. Just how you went about it hurt the... And so ain't nothing wrong with doing it.